Sigiriya is the most important place in Sri Lanka. So much of people love to see that one. And Sigiriya is an ancient rock fortress and palace built by King Kashyapa during the reign of 473 to 495, which is standing majestically 666 feet straight up. It is located in the northern Matali district near to the town of Dambulla in central province Sri Lanka. So the Mount Sigiriya or the Singagiri means a lion's rock, where you have to climb up 1,200 steps before you reach the Lion Rock Fortress on top of the Sigiriya. It will take approximately 3 hours to visit and come back from this massive creation. There are several platforms that break up the steps and allow for a little break if you need it. Today, Sigiriya Rock Fortress is one of the most famous archaeological treasure, and UNESCO named Sigiriya Rock as a World Heritage in 1982 under the name Ancient City of Sigiriya in Sri Lanka. So this fortified garden, City of Sigiriya Rock Fortress, is an exceptional masterpiece of ancient urban planning, landscape and architecture, construction technology, exceptional hydraulic engineering and management, ancient fine art with unique harmony between nature and human imagination, and all these living examples prove that it was a well-planned Syrian palace in 5th century AD. And Sigiriya Rock Fortress is recognized as one of the best preserved surviving ancient urban cities sites in Asia from the first millennium, or simply it is a living museum. Sigiriya World Heritage Site is a versatile and many-faceted appeal, and it is one of the Sri Lanka's ancient political capitals and Sri Lanka's most sensational heritage site. So the historical research carried out at this site has brought to light evidence to show that the origins of Sigiriya date back to prehistoric times. Situated at the base of the Sigiriya rock of its eastern side is a monarch named Aligala or Elephant Rock. In a cave underneath this excavation have revealed remains of prehistoric human settlements that existed here around 5,500 years before BC. In addition, there is evidence of human habitation in this area so far back in history as the 9th to 10th centuries before Christ. In the 3rd century, that means before Christ, a Buddhist monastery had been established at Sigiriya Rock Fortress. 30 cave shelters with drip lights which accommodate monks have been identified at the base of the Great Rock so far. In 8 of them, details of donations of cave shelters have been inscribed in Brahmi script. All the principal structures that are found today in Sigiriya have been erected during the reign of King Kashyapa, AD 4477 to 495, who chose to make Sigiriya as his seat of administration. According to the eminent archaeologist Professor Senrath Parnavithani, Sigiriya reflects the senselessness of a pleasure-loving king who modeled the city in the mythical Alakamanda of Kuvera. Indian and Roman coins and pottery belonging to the Sasanian dynasty of Persia, that means Iran, found in sigiriya rock fortress, as well as the affinity to Persian styles in the creations of pleasure gardens, all indicate commercial and cultural relations with the foreign countries during this brief period. So, subsequently, however, in the 6th and 7th centuries AD, Sigiriya ceased to be political importance and once again became the abode of Buddhist monk. During this period, the cave shelters with drip ledge, which belongs to the earlier monastic phrase, were the further improved. Additional shrines such as stupa, image houses, and bodhi tree shrine were constructed. This second phase of the monastic development continues up to the 12th to 30th, 13th centuries AD. In the centuries that followed, Sigiriya was totally abandoned until the 19th century, when it was used as a military outpost of the kings of Kandy. Later, it was British military. And after Jonathan Forbes in 1832, who once again brought Sigiriya out of its obscurity back into historical focuses. In 1894, under H.C.P. Bell, an archaeological department commenced archaeological activities in Sigiriya. Nearly a century later, in 1982, the Central Cultural Fund took over the task, which is continuous with the great success to date. So the Lion Rock Sigiriya has two fortified precincts, where the western precinct encompasses 90 hectares and the eastern precinct covers 40 hectares. The western area was the Royal Park area, a symmetrically designed pleasure garden with elaborate water retaining structures as well as surface and subsurface hydraulic systems. So it is surrounded by three ramparts and two moats, forming a rectangular area whose inner precincts measure about 700 meters from east to west and 500 meters from the north to south. See, on the other side of the Lion Rock Sea area, the eastern area appears to have been a ceremonial precinct with a large central pavilion as its only permanent structure. Kashyap and his royal family lived their lives within these walls, moving inward from the two precincts and in an ever ascending fashion are a series of boulder gardens and then terrace garden leading to the entrance to the Sigiriya rock. Access to the rock is gained via a long passageway that begins on the west side of the terrace gardens and the winds northward along the mirror wall to the Lion Flat Rock. See, among the significant features of Sigiriya, the water gardens are especially noteworthy, though outwardly the water gardens appear to be one garden system in concept. Four distinct parts are clearly discernible on its creation, and at present they are called water gardens number 1, 2, and 3, and the miniature water garden. The water garden number 1 has symmetrically arranged four large L-shaped fonts creating an island in the middle. This is considered a special feature found in ancient garden designs and in terms Chaba. And this specimen in water garden number 1 seems to be a most ancient one extant in the world today. So the water garden number 2 fontains and hence is also called fountain garden. Two summer places flank either side of this fountain garden. So visitor will wonder how the fountains were fed with the water. So the answer lies in the moats built around the summer palaces, connect to the concealed subterranean channels and which feed the fountains ingeniously aerate a knob estuary. Water garden number 3 is located at the higher elevation and uh, has an asymmetrical layout. The balance and symmetry of the other sections of the garden system being absent here. The miniature water garden is mini sites refinement of the other three garden systems, a kind of a microscale model of the ditotal concepts, the interconnection between the different parts of the water gardens and the overall balance, symmetry, and integration they were achieved in is indeed a triumph. So main feature of sigiriya rock and sigiriya graffiti lines, for instance. So boulders, garden, mirror wall, fresco paintings of female figures, extensive network of landscaped garden, water gardens, moats, ramparts, and the remain of the palace. The lion rock sigiriya graffiti were written on the surfaces of the mirror wall of Sigiriya, scribbled on wall are over 1,800 pieces of prose, poetry, and commentary written by ancient tourists. This graffiti offer a fascinating insight into the history of Sigiriya and the evolution of language of Sri Lanka over a period of 800 years. The majority of the graffiti refer to the beautiful paintings of semi-nude females. This graffiti confirms that this site was residence of King Kashyapa, who ruled from 477 to 495 AD. And the texts also suggest that the females depicted in the ferocious ladies of the king's royal court and ladies of harem. And graffiti ranged from statements of awe, declarations of love, commentary, curses, laments, diary entries, or a mere statement of visit. Many demonstrate a very high level of literacy and deep appreciation of art and poetry in Sinhala, Sanskrit, and Tamil. These early scribblers have left us priceless insights into the past. Out of these paintings, 685 individuals identified. So far, 12 were women, over half identified themselves by name. Many noted their social rank, and some even mentioned where they come from towns like Velikama and Ritikala in Sri Lanka. The majority of these visitors appear to have been from the elite of society, royalty, officials, professions, and clergy. There were also soldiers, archers, and even metal workers. Over 1,000 unique words have been identified. The boulder garden comprises sloping terrain around the center rock, which is dotted with boulders of various sizes. The routes to the palace on rock summit are laid out through the boulder garden as winding pathways that are punctuated by natural boulders arches. You see, among the unique features of this garden are cistern rock, deriving its name from the large cistern formed out of the natural boulder and large granite slabs, and audience hall, where a 5 meter long main throne is carved out of the living rock, and preaching rock, where a series carved out the flattened edge of the fairly high boulder, and the asana cave, where a series carved out inside a natural grave. Rock graves which dip ledge and and shrines used during the periods when Sigiriya was a Buddhist monastery also to be seen in this area. The terraced garden of Sigiriya Lion Rock lies in high ground between the Boulder Garden and the Sigiriya Rock, and it is fashioned into a series of roughly concentric terraces by means of strong remaining walls. So the most important thing is the lion staircase. The final ascent to the royal palace atop Sigiriya rock lies through the lion staircase, which faces north and has two huge paws of lions in front. These lion paws, made of a brick and covered with the plaster, are the remnants of four parts of lion figures that must have once stood here. The palace complexes on the top of the Sigiriya rock is around 1.5 hectares in extent. See, the principal monument to be seen there is a royal palace which lies toward the west. The palace garden consisting of a large artificial pool, and the other garden features are located to the east. So below the palace on a rock facing the east is a throne carved out of the natural rock. The 5th century AD paintings and indisputably the zenith of all artistic creations of Sri Lanka. These paintings found in a depression on the western side of the rock face, 19 in number, are figures of exquisitely beautiful damsels, the damsels floating among clouds, according to the Sigiri graffiti, was scratched on a mirror wall over the ages. However, there had been 500 such figures painted all over the western and northern rock faces originally. Many theories attempted to interpret the identity of the beautiful woman portrayed in these ancient masterpieces. According to H.C.F. Bell, they are Kashyap's concubines on their way to worship to the Pidurangala temple nearby, bearing flowers for offering. According to the eminent scholar Ananda Kumaraswamy, they themselves are as apsaras or goddesses. The eminent Sri Lankan archaeologist Professor Senrat Parnvisani offers a very original interpretation of the identity of the Sigiriya damsels, which remains that the damsels are symbolic representations of rain clouds and lightning. According to this interpretation, the dark-skinned maidens, Meghalata, are symbols of rain clouds, and fair golden skinned ones, Vajjakumari, symbolize her lightnings. Apart from these paintings, caves and ball gardens also appear to have contained paintings. The Dharaniyagala cave, Cobra Hood cave, and Asana cave show clear traces of paintings. In addition to this, it has been recently discovered that there had been paintings on the outer surface of the mirror wall. Though these paintings are all faded, one female figure apparently floating among clouds can be discerned. The terracotta figures, cloudily resembling tire figures in the paintings, have been discovered at Sigiriya during the archaeological excavation. According to Professor Senaka Bandaranayake, who headed the major archaeological project in Sigiriya, these may be replicas of Sigiriya damsels sold to visitors as souvenirs in the past. Built in the 5th AD, hydraulic engineering system of Sigiriya World Heritage, and Sigiriya testament to the advanced architectural and engineering skills of ancient Sri Lanka. In addition to transporting construction supplies to the top of the Sigiriya rock, these engineers also installed a highly advanced hydraulic system that pumped water from nearby lake to the royal palace on top of the 200-meter Sigiriya rock. Using underground and surface pumps, canals, dams, and water pressure conduits, this hydraulic system supplied water to the entire places. So the palace complex, including the royal kitchens and ponds, walls, water fountains in royal pleasure gardens. Uh, ac- some of these aqueducts still work and can be seen spurting water into the ponds and fountains. Stop saying it today, some 1,500 years later, much to the bafflement of modern engineers. So this is when important that how Sigiriya related to the Ramayana Yatra, Sri Lanka, the Cobra Hood Cave and Ramayana Yatra, Sri Lanka. Cobra Hood Cave, also known as Parumukha Naguliyalena. So in Sinhala it is called Parumukha Naguliyalena. So in a natural ritualogical formation project as Cobra Hood located within the border garden of Sigiriya Rock Fortress complex within the plastered interior of the cave once embellished with floral and animal paintings. This is also a part of Sigiriya Rock Fortress complex. As for the recent explorations of Ramayana in Obesekara in Lankapura by Mr. Lal Srinivas and Dr. Miranda Obesekara, Sigiriya can be considered as first historical archaeology turning point of King Ravana. According to them, Sigiriya may be the Alakamandava, city of the gods, that was built up before 50 centuries ago by King Kuera, who was the half brother of King Ravana as defined in the Ramayana Yatra Sri Lanka. According to the palm leaf book, it is called Puskalapata of Ravana Vata or Ravana story. The architect of the Sigiriya was the Danava called Maya Danava. He built up Sigiriya on the instructions given by the king Vistavasa, Vistavasa Muni, the father of Ravana. During that period of, the Vishvasa Muni rather. So during the period of Sigiriya was called Alakamandava, and during the period of King Kubera, it is called Chitrakuta or Chitranakuta. After death of Ravana, Vibhishana became the king and he shifted the kingdom to Kelaniya. The man-made Triple H and Brahmi inscriptions of 3rd century before Christ associated with this cave indicate that the cave has served as a Buddhist monastery dwelling for monks. The paintings on the rock ceiling were floral or stylized animal motifs with a geometric composition. The brick paved floor of the cave has been finished with a lime plaster. The boulder connect with the cave has been sliced from the mother boulder and resembles the hood of a cobra. A fallen off piece of the boulder is still to be seen in front of the cave. Therefore, historians believe Sigiriya to have connection with the Ramayana. It is believed that the Pratutop was the side of Ravana's majestic palace made of solid gold and crafted by Kubera, the god of wealth. Around 50 centuries ago, one look at the site and you would know how big an architectural feat of this palace. No, sorry, a place must have been, beg your pardon, as believe one of these caves is where King Ravana imprisoned Princess Sita after abducting her. Abducting her. So skeletal discovered at Cobra Hood Cave, Sigiriya. So we have to discuss so many things regarding Sigiriya. So this one is skeletal discovered at Cobra Hood Cave, Sigiriya. The archaeological excavations conducted at the cave shelter has led to the discovery of 9 human skeleton excavation at the Sigiriya. The Cobra Hood cave excavated that what appears to be a middle historic period burial site. And the excavation yielded the skeletal remains of 9 individuals. This third study suggested that at the time of the death, these individuals were young, healthy, adult males of 152 centimeters or more in height. The burial practice has been in an extended position in a west-east orientation with hand clasped in front and the face turned to the south. No burial offsprings or other ritual objects were found. Sigiriya is the best preserved ancient rock fortress and one of the archaeological treasures in South Asia. It's masterpiece of ancient urban planning, landscape architecture, construction. So these things are so important, and so this is about Sigiriya. And if you like to visit Sigiriya, you must come to closer to Damula. So it is very nice place. And in for a day or some other holidays, no, you cannot easily observe this massive cave. So you have to come to the weekdays. It's may helpful to you, and you can easily watch this valuable place, and you can make researches on some other desirable things in these places. So come and join to watch these valuable places, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel as well.